Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Ask Mike. And the truth is, I had planned to do this either from the office or from home. And I kind of been stuck in traffic on the North Circular Road. So I'm coming to live, hopefully live, from a home base car park. So hopefully it's kind of quiet. It's way too busy on the North Circular and way too busy to do this while I'm driving, so I parked up somewhere. So hopefully this is good, and we got a strong 4G signal for this call. So if you're listening to it live, it's really great to see you. If you're watching this on I suppose record or some kind of catch up or whatever they call it on Facebook, it's great that you're watching it. Thank you so much. This is the second week I've been doing this Ask Mike Facebook Live session, and I still want to keep it really open based on the questions that you send to me. And this week you have been kind of slightly inundating me with messages and emails sent via my website with your questions, and that's fabulous. Thank you so much for that. And the one kind of question that I've seen quite a lot of you ask this week is around this area of confidence. How, when you're not feeling so confident, when you have to speak at a meeting at work, or whether you need to speak to say a group of meeting, if you're say out doing a business networking event, or equally to a larger group of people, and you're not kind of the traditional kind of public speaker or presentation speaker. How do you find the confidence when you've got all these butterflies going on inside? And just sending out a high five to Becky. This is your question I'm going to read out, but I got a very similar one from Jack, from Diego, from Sally, from Megan, and Susan as well. And Becky particularly, she wrote, I always get nervous and go to pieces when I need to speak at meetings at work. Can you help? And so that is the question I think I'm going to concentrate on this week, because I've got three kind of, I don't know if they're nuggets, but certainly tips that when I'm working with groups in presentation skill workshops or in speaking with confidence courses, these three tips, which are really exercises, work really well. And as with any exercise, as with any tip, it's not just about listening to them and then going, okay. It's actually about trying them out. It's about practicing them, and really doing them for real, and then just noticing the difference. And there will be a difference. I didn't come up with these exercises. They've been used in training and in theatre and on stage for performers and singers like myself for many years. And the reason they're so widely used is because they work. So, straight into it. Number one, I made some notes here because I'm just thinking about how this can be most useful or valuable to you. So the notes I made are: number one, prep how you want your meeting or how you want your presentation, your whatever it is you're speaking about. Prep how you want it to go, not necessarily what you want to say, because I think what most people do, and certainly a lot of people I work with in businesses, they are detailed people. They have a PowerPoint presentation. They have a list of notes, so of points they want to make. They have an agenda they send out. So they have all this. So it's almost like they're swamped with the detail. What they really want is a structure of how to deliver it. So when I say prep how you want your meeting to go, how you want it to be, or how you want to be in it, whether you call this a visualization or a mental rehearsal, I can tell you, everybody from athletes in the Olympics to actors in the West End or Broadway, and business leaders that I've worked with, and that many coaches and speech coaches work with, they do this. and it works. It really, really works. So I'd encourage you to just spend some time thinking about how you want whatever your presentation is to go, and then to practice that in your mind. Not, as I say, not necessarily the detail. I'm sure you're very good at the detail, and if you want to work on that, of course, that's a different, I suppose, conversation at a different time. But just think about how you can rehearse in your mind, a mental rehearsal of how you want it to go well. So that's the important thing. So secondly, practice your breathing. It's a fact that when we get nervous, when we get shy, when we get kind of overwhelmed with the thought of speaking up, our breathing gets very shallow. It comes from here, and our voice tightens up, our throat tightens up, and the vocal cords get squeezed, and a squeak comes out. And then we sometimes feel emotional. And so the thing is, how do we solve that? And I think one of the ways that I got when I used to do lots and lots of auditions for shows many years ago is breathing. And it's not breathing here, it's breathing all the way down to the bottom of your stomach. And if you can imagine breathing all the way down to your toes and even out through your toes into the ground. And equally, when you breathe in and imagine this air is coming out of the top of your head, like you're breathing from the universe all the way down into the ground and then back again. And again, I'm doing this in the car and I'm kind of doing this, and I'm not sure if anybody's looking at me, but this is how I imagine it to be when I'm practicing my breathing. Now, when you start doing that for the first time, and I can tell you when I first started doing it many years ago, and I've seen countless people do this in workshops, when you start breathing fully for the first time, a real deep breath, you will probably feel a little bit dizzy. Now, the thing is, the reason for that is that the blood isn't so used to getting so much oxygen in it. And of course, the blood takes the oxygen to the head. And so it's kind of got slightly overdosed on oxygen. It's very, very unusual, because usually we just kind of breathe in the midsection. But if we breathe really deeply, we are going to fill the lungs with more oxygen. And that oxygen is going to go into the blood and it's going to go to the head. And you can use that to be clear-headed, for many reasons, which is, again, is another conversation. But the point is, you have to practice the deep breathing before you have the presentation. If the first time you give when you give the presentation is the first time you do the deep breathing and you start feeling dizzy because you got so much oxygen going around in your head, that's just one extra challenge you have to kind of deal with. So let's just do it one step at a time. This is preparation. Practice deep breathing and practice doing it regularly, at least once a day for, I don't know, a few days or a week or so before you've got something coming up. And so when you go into your presentation and you start to breathe deeply, you're going to feel calm, you're going to feel centered, you're going to feel grounded, which is why I ask you to imagine breathing into the ground, almost like out the bottom of your feet. And you're going to stay clear-headed. You're not going to start feeling dizzy because your body will have been used to this. So that's the second point, to practice the deep breathing. And then the third one, very quickly, is it's about the phrase I use when I'm training coaches is to be fully present. I think Nigel Reisner, a fantastic speaker here in the UK, talks about, he has this phrase about being in the room. And a coach would say, be fully present. And what I mean by that is in a presentation situation, when you're talking in a meeting or in a networking event, I think it's a natural human instinct to interpret other people's body language or their tone or how quickly they talk with you or what's happening to their eyes when they're talking with you. We interpret that, things like, they're not listening, they're not interested, they want to get away from me, I'm boring, all these kind of things. We've got all this internal dialogue going on within our mind, and so we're not really fully present. So the exercise is, and again, everybody from singers, actors to politicians and business leaders do this, is just to practice, and it's good even when you're at home or equally when you're in the office, just to, it's almost like being factual, but almost like and the way I build it up in my head is it's a bit like a tennis match. So I'll do one for me and then I'll do one for somebody else. For example, I notice that I'm holding my right hand up and kind of waving it around. Now that's a fact. That's not saying that I'm holding my hand up because I'm expressing something, because that's an interpretation. The fact is that I'm holding my hand up and I'm right hand up and I'm waving it around a bit. And if I'm looking at you and you're sitting down, I could say, and you're sitting down. That's one for me and one for you. So the tennis ball would come back to me, the idea will come back to me. So then I'd say, and I'm just nudging my glasses up with my, forefinger, just between my eyes at the top of my nose. I'm just pushing my glasses up. And I notice that you are smiling. And then I notice that I'm just scratching just behind my ear because I've got an itch, factual. And then I notice that you kind of just moved slightly to the right, or whatever it would be that you would do. So all I'm doing is I'm bringing the fact into it, the detail of what is actually happening, not what I think is happening. For example, I notice your smile, so you're happy with what I'm saying, or you agree with what I'm saying, or you kind of just shifted slightly, so you're feeling uncomfortable. That's an interpretation, that's a mind read. It could be right, it's probably wrong. And the thing is, if we stay fully present, if we just stay factual, it's one less thing to worry about when you have to give your presentation. So you can concentrate on what it is that you want to say and how you want to say it. So those are the 3 steps. As I said at the beginning of this week's Facebook Live, this is only as useful and powerful, and these exercises are useful and powerful. They're used widely throughout many areas in the world, as I mentioned, through business, through politics, through acting, and certainly singing, which is where I came across them. In training, they're just absolute dynamite tools to have in your toolkit if you need to speak up at work, in a business meeting, in a networking meeting, or even giving a bigger presentation. So just to recap them very quickly, number 1, prepare how you want it to be, the mental rehearsal. Number 2, practice the deep breathing all the way down to the bottom of your stomach. And if you can imagine it coming out the bottom of your feet into the earth, so you're breathing into the earth and then out through the top of your head into the universe, all the better, because I think my philosophy is that we're all connected to the universe and energy anyway, so it's just an extension of that. And number 3 is practice being fully present, being in the room and being factual about that, not interpreting what is happening, which is effectively mind reading. And even though I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker, and you do what you do, I don't think I've got any mind readers on my list, and I'm certainly not a mind reader. So what we do is we stay in the moment, and that's what I'm asking you to do. So hopefully that is going to be really helpful for you. Please keep your questions coming in. You can send them via Facebook message. You can send them via my website. That's mikeblissett.com, and then go to the contact page. You see there's a box there, and you can send it to me as well. If you're on my mailing list, just hit reply, and you can send the questions anytime. And if you prefer me not to read out your name, even though I only read out first names, if you prefer I didn't read out your name, just say, sorry, do you mind if you don't read out my name? And I'm completely fine for that. That's not a problem. Just to say next week, because I've had some people message me saying, because on the very first call I said, I suggested that I wasn't sure whether this should be a Wednesday call or just once a week, or whether it would be better to have it twice a week and slightly shorter time, so maybe 10 minutes or something. And so I've had some feedback on that, and I've decided to try this out next week and see how it goes. On next week, the Ask Mike sessions will be live on Facebook Live on Tuesday and Thursday. So that's Tuesday and Thursday next week, and we're going to go to 5 o'clock because it's a nice round number. Somebody can put it in your schedule, in your diary. It's just at the top of the hour. So 5 o'clock next Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll send out some Facebook reminders and a reminder to my mailing list if you're on that as well. By the way, if you want to sign up to the mailing list, again, just go to the website, MikeBlissett.com. There's a free set of training videos there to help you sign clients, go through introductory sessions, and look at the presentation style of how you bring yourself to the business and to the specialism that you do, whether that's as a coach or a trainer or a consultant or a business manager or a sales executive, just so you can be fully present and just be the most successful you can be. So if you want that, it's a set of free 4 training videos, and it comes with a free PDF report as well. Just go to MikeBlissett.com, you can get that, and it'd be great to have you on the list. And what else? Just next week I'm going to be speaking. Somebody asked me, well, when can they come and hear me speak? And so I do regular training events at sort of companies like the Coaching Academy, which you can sign up for free, and they're fantastic, and you can get an idea of how you can upskill as a coach or become a coach, or find out how you can use coaching within the role that you do to help you get a better result. So I do those events usually 2 times a month. And after saying that, I've spoken there for this month, so the next one isn't until early October, so I'll let you know when that's happening. Next week, I'm speaking at the Professional Speaking Association, and I've got 2 events there. One at the Southeast region, so it's just by the side of Brands Hatch, so in Kent, and that's on Tuesday, and I think that's about 5 o'clock. But if you go to Facebook, look for PSA, Professional Speaking Association Southeast, you'll find out the itinerary there, and you'll find out the exact time that I'm going to be speaking. And then on Thursday, I'm again speaking for the PSA, Professional Speaking Association, and that's going to be in the Thames Valley meeting, and that's going to be on Thursday evening. I think it's around about 8 o'clock. So Southeast, I'm not sure. I think it's 5:30, 5:40, something like that. I'm not sure. And I tell you one thing: if you're thinking of becoming a speaker, or you do some speaking, you'll know that sometimes the best laid plans of when you're going to be speaking, when you're going to come on to deliver your part of whatever presentation it is. One of the skills to learn is a little bit of flexibility. So that's why I'm saying that if you want to see me, PSA Southeast near Brands Hatch on Tuesday, and on Thursday at Thames Valley. I do speak other places and do other trainings as well, but that's in-house with companies, so I can't invite you to that. So have a look. I'll put some links under this video so you can check those 2 events out if you want to come, and it'd be fab. If you do, please come say hi, and yeah, it'd be great to see you. So I think that is it. I made my notes. Oh gosh, yeah, I think that's it for this time. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also if you're watching this live on my Facebook page at Mike Blissett page, please hit the like button at the top of the page, and that just means we'll keep in touch. I'll let you know, or Facebook will let you know when we're doing some more live filming, or if there's a free goodie coming out, or if I've posted something. It just means we can keep in touch more easily. So that's it for this time. Remember, send your questions, message, email, all the rest of it. So whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you, I'm sending you a big hello from North London, and I look forward to talking again with you next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Take good care.